Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm so excited to walk you guys through our content modules. Now, this is a very special set of modules. I'm going to be tag teaming with David. I'm going to give David a bit of an intro in a second, but David is an incredible client from the old program who's done phenomenally well with a very small audience. And we're going to walk you through everything you need to know about what kind of content to create, exactly how to create it, why we create this kind of content, and how to do it in the most time efficient way possible so that you can make the kind of content that converts your audience, converts your the niche that you actually want to work with, right? This is going to be different to anything you've ever heard of before regarding content. We have a very unique take on it. It's everything that I've learned in the last 5 years, and you guys are going to get it in the most distilled down version. Everything you need, nothing you don't, none of the fluff. So without further ado, let's dive in. Now, for starters, let's kind of do a recap of where we're up to. We've selected a niche with buying power and that has the kind of problems worth a lot of money to solve. That's number one. Number two, we've built the kind of high ticket program that's packed with value that can solve that problem for our niche, right? We're positioning ourselves here as specialists. Now, this is really important, right? I want you to carry that mindset with you through all these content modules. You need to have that specialist mindset when you're creating this kind of content. I'm going to walk you guys through everything, why it's important, but just keep that in mind, okay? Number three, we have got our acquisition system ready to go. We've hired our VA, they've hopefully gone through the training as well by now, and you guys are about to launch, right? Before you launch, the content is what you need to have dialed in. Right, before you launch, before you start spending money on your acquisition, paying for your VAs to do stuff, you need to know about your brand, your content, how you're positioning yourself online, and how your profile is optimized. Super important. So this is us for the next couple modules, you guys, and I'm so excited. So let me first explain really the importance of this kind of content. Why content is even important. My history with this, I've been back and forth on content for a while. And, I found, in my business, I was able to still make really great money just having 1, 2, and 3 locked in. Cool. Now, I noticed I was still able to make money, like I said. I'd get on sales calls, though. It'd be a really tough sell. They don't know who I am. They don't really trust me. It's a tough sell. My conversion rate was around, 25%, 30%. It was really tough. I wasn't getting a lot of closes on the call. It was tough, right? We're making good money. It was relatively consistent. And so I was, kind of off content for a bit because I realized, I didn't need to make content in order to make money online. But it was only after a good friend of mine, who was originally my mentor, who does, well into the 100K per month mark. And at the beginning of this year, in 2024, he told me, he's like, Corbin, you need to start taking your content more seriously. And I'm like, really, man? I don't really need it to make cash. It's like, if you want to make crazy amounts of cash, easier than you've ever made it before, you need to start taking content seriously. And up until this point, you know what I mean? I'd create content here or there, but it was a bit of a slog. I didn't really care. I wasn't positioning myself the right way. I just made it to fill up the, the profile. I didn't really care about it. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And he's like, I asked him, what do you want me to do? He's like, I need you to do 3 YouTube videos per week. And you need to start taking your reels more seriously too. At least 3 a week. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do it. So I started with YouTube, and I'm going to have a whole YouTube module on this. YouTube, you guys, oh my goodness, will make you so much money, it's insane, right? But we're going to have a very stern focus on the reels. All in all, I'll say this, long story short, when I started to take content seriously around January, I had record month after record month, right? January, absolutely smashed it. February now, we've done even more than January. It's been record month after record month ever since I took content seriously. But here's the kicker, is sales calls flew by. People who got on sales calls with me, they already knew more or less what we did, how we were unique in the industry. They knew about my tone. They watched my YouTube videos. They knew I was a little bit more of an aggressive style coach. That's what they wanted. They came to me for those reasons. The sales calls went so easy. My closing rate went up to 80%, and it's been at 80% for the past 3 months, which is fucking nuts, right? I genuinely don't know how that's possible without content. And this is everything I'm going to be walking you guys through. Why it's important for the acquisition system is because, again, you guys, you need to understand what's happening, right? So you've now hired your VA. Your VA is going to be sending these messages to your niche. These are terrible stick figures, right? Bear with me. The first thing that your niche, your prospects are going to do when they receive your message is they're going to go over to your profile, right? They're like, well, who's this guy? Who's this guy Ben? Who's this guy Jared? Who's this girl, right? They're like, why are they messaging me? Who is this person? Before they respond to anything, they're looking at your profile. If your profile, okay, there's a little like Instagram story icon, right? If you don't have an active Instagram story, if your bio is whack and not clear enough, if you don't have enough content or good content, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to respond? You think they're going to take the time out of their day, respond? Especially when it comes down to the Loom pitch, right? If you say all this stuff, I can do this for you, I've done this for someone else using this unique method, you guys know by now how the Loom pitch goes. If you say all this stuff and they're like, who the fuck is this? And they go over to the account and it's not optimized at all. You're creating weird content. It's all over the place. You have no kind of aesthetic. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to ghost you. They're going to leave you on scene. You'll never hear from them again. Right? You can, by pure brute force, right? If you can go from 100 DMs a day to 500 DMs a day, you set up clone Instagram accounts. I don't suggest you do this. You don't even need to do it. With 100 DMs a day, with the solid account, you guys have no idea how much cash you'll bring in. Oh my god, right? You don't need to do these numbers, right? But by pure brute force, sure, if you hire like 5 app setters, 5 VAs, you got 5 different clone accounts, yeah, that's what I had to do because I was just focused on 1, 2, and 3. That's what I did, right? It was brutal. Oh my god, the amount of money I was spending too, and like managing a team. Oh man, it was tough. You can, or you can just keep it at 1 VA, right? You've got a great account, which we're going to show you how to build now. You got the right content. You positioned yourself as a specialist. Everything here is rocking. I mean, come on, you'll 10x your open rates, your response rates. My goodness, people will actually start to engage with you because you're like, oh, I saw you're the like 10-minute cardio 6-pack guy, because that's what your bio says, because you're a specialist in that. You've helped a bunch of people get 6-pack abs with the right diet and 10 minutes of cardio or 10 minutes of ab exercises a day. You're that guy. All your content shows that. How do you think they're going to respond? Because now you've positioned yourself as a specialist. Like, whoa, this dude's fucking sick. I need to know what he knows. Yeah, they're going to respond. Why? Because they need what you have. They can see the value, not just in your, Loom pitch. Anyone can say that. But who's got the proof? Anyone can say, oh yeah, I got this 10-minute thing, I helped this person. But if they go over to your account and they see the story highlights, and they see the content, and they see the bio, that's real, that's genuine. They know you're the real deal, you're the specialist. They're going to respond. So I might as well have called this whole system the $5 an hour VA and content system, because honestly, this does not work as well unless you have your content dialed. Seriously. Like I said, if you are only doing 100 DMs a day and you got bullshit content or no content at all, and you're so inconsistent and you're inactive and there's no active stories and you're all over the joint, to try and get good numbers out of 100 DMs a day is going to be tough. Really, really, really tough, right? And even if you do book people on calls, they don't know you. They don't give a damn about who you are. It's a very tough close. You got to be an exceptional salesperson, right? Or do crazy numbers. And unless you've got bags of cash to spend on a team of 5 to 8 VAs like what I had to do, right? Then you guys are going to need to take your content seriously. I've fully converted over to that, seeing the impact it had on my business. And I had every excuse not to do it, right? I was making great money just with steps 1, 2, and 3. I had every reason why I shouldn't have had to take content seriously. And then I did, and then everything skyrocketed. So if you guys want the easiest time making cash out of thin air, and making this VA system work, seriously, it's pure magic, right? Then you guys are going to need to take your content seriously. So we're going to help you guys do this in the most efficient way possible. And to do that is my good mate here, David. Now, like I said, David was actually a client from the old program from V1. And there's a couple things that David had that made it so easy for him to win, right? Number one was a killer mindset, right? David, operated like a 10. He cooked that egg on 10 speed. If you guys remember way back from our mindset modules, he cooked that egg on 10 speed. He was aggressive. He wanted it. And you'll see it in the modules from the ones that he's created for you guys. You'll see David's about his business. And if you guys want that level of success as well, what an opportunity it is to hear it from someone who's won from the exact system that I've taught you guys. Right? And even the V1 version of it, who's won so big from it, what an opportunity it is to hear from someone who's done it. With a very small audience. David started with us at 700 followers, right? And from the 8 weeks of him launching his VA system combined with great content, he signed on one high ticket client every single week for 8 weeks. David's clients are worth $2,500 each. You do the math, right? So there you go. What an opportunity to hear it from David himself. We've devised between us, the best strategy to go about building your guys' brands, taking it from where it is now to really optimizing. Some of you guys are coming into the program with really shocking looking brands, right? The way I want to describe it is, and I was actually explaining this to one of my old clients. He's now the go-to guy for, people with dad bods who want to sculpt up. And originally he had what we call an Android aesthetic, right? We wanted to turn him into an Apple aesthetic. If you take a look at any Android phone, it's kind of fucking, retarded. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't fucking look really nice. It's pretty trash. But Apple, oof, you know what I mean? Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Most of you guys are sitting here, right, where your brand looks terrible, where the photos you got on, there's no theme, there's no colors, there's no fonts going on, there's no consistency, it's just fucking all over the place, right? How do you expect to win? How do you expect to build trust with anyone? Remember, guys, that's the importance of the content pillars, to build trust. Most of you guys are sitting here. Some of you guys have this Apple aesthetic, right, which is good, but you're just not creating the kind of content that actually converts people, that converts this niche up here. Right, so David is going to walk you guys through exactly what to do here, okay? Now, the way this is going to be structured is me and David are going to be tag teaming across all of these modules. David's pretty much going to be running you guys through, the broad overview, the broad strategies, what you need to do. He's also going to be unpacking why you do it, the importance behind why you need to make this kind of content. And it fits in with everyone. If you have a lot of time and you want to scale up aggressively, he's got an aggressive option. If you're a little bit short on time, but you still want to put in work for the brand, he's got a more, consistent kind of scale option for you guys too, right? So David's going to walk you guys through the what and, a bit about the why. I'm going to take, certain modules and I'm going to do a deep dive into actually how to do certain content, how to set up the backend, how to set up the automation stuff. So me and David will be tag teaming across all these modules, and genuinely, this, if you guys take this seriously, it will change everything about this whole thing, right? So I know it's been a pretty chunky module here. We're 16 minutes in, but let's kick it straight off.